The New York Jets pulled off one of the most emotional comebacks we have ever seen, obviously at a huge cost, and I've got the 3 key plays from the game that you may not recall that affected the outcome of the game. Let's talk about it. And well. Welcome back to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm WA2K99. Thank you, as always, for taking the time to watch these videos. So, reminder, of course, to join us every Wednesday night, live, 10 p.m. A whole lot of New York sports talk. As of right now, it's certainly going to be very, very heavy on the Jets. But I'm going to come on here and do a segment that I do for every game. The 3 key plays you may not recall that affected the outcome of the game. Before I get into that, though, I'm just going to say 1 or 2 things. I cannot remember in the 35 or so years I have been rooting for this team that has given me a whole hell of a lot more sorrow than it has joy. One end of the spectrum to the other in terms of my emotional level. Watching this game with the Virginia Jets fans, there are about 40 to 50 of us. It was a huge turnout, and one loudmouth Bills fan who didn't have a single friggin' tooth in her mouth, but she wouldn't shut up the whole night. She sounded like Kermit the Frog on acid, but we'll let that go. But from the highs of the introductions, from the national anthem to Aaron Rodgers getting hurt and the air just going completely out of the building, and a few people did leave along the way. Some people had work in the morning. I didn't care. But to make that comeback slowly, and I don't want to say surely, but that gradual comeback that culminated in the Xavier Gibson punt return touchdown, I don't know if I've ever been part of a celebration that was that organic, that crazy, where we just let so much emotion out. Like, there were people literally jumping on top of me. It was absolutely insane, that celebration last night. And, I did a short video that just said what an amazing win it was. And I was thrilled at the moment when I was walking out of the bar at AJ Gators in Norfolk. But about 10 minutes into my drive to go back home is when I got the news that Robert Saleh said it's basically an Achilles injury, which we now know to be the case. And everything just kind of went right out of me. I went from pure jubilation to pure anger to pure disgust, just not understanding it. And then this morning I woke up completely numb. I went into work. I could barely function. I couldn't even concentrate. I almost even wound up in a little bit of an argument with my office mate just because I wasn't thinking, wasn't being considerate. I admit it, not proud of it, apologize for it. And I told my boss, I said, I need to leave. I need to take a half a day. My mind is not there right now. I didn't get into the details as of why, but this was the first time in my life, okay? And I've been through a lot of shit when it comes to my sports teams. I have been through a lot. This was the first time I asked off of work because I could not get over what happened. That is how much Aaron Rodgers' injury has messed with me, how much it has frustrated me, how much it has angered me, that we never got to see him throw one complete pass as a New York Jet. It is an absolute... Shakespeare could not write a tragedy this miserable. Stephen King could not write a novel that was this filled with horror. Only the New York Jets could do this. Only the New York Jets. Now, I'm not here to tell you that the season's over. I'm not here to say that. I still think that they have enough talent where they could be a playoff team. I think they have that. We'll see what Zach Wilson winds up doing. I think he's going to be the starter. The only piece of hope that I have is that Nathaniel Hackett will be a better offensive coordinator than Mike LaFleur, and at least Wilson has some mobility because that offensive line sucked last night when it came to pass blocking. They were horrible. But they've got a run game. They run blocked incredibly well for Breece Hall and for Dalvin Cook. My one fear now is, if you remember, at the second half of last season, the Jets constantly had to face 8 or 9 men in the box, and they could never run the ball. That is what I'm scared of. If I'm the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday, if I'm the New England Patriots after that, the Chiefs after that, you name the opponent, I am loading up the box and daring the Jets to beat me with the running game. As great as Breece Hall looked, he's not going to break tackles if he's running into 3 defensive players at a time. It's just not going to happen. The one thing the Jets can do My only hope is that this defense is just so freaking good that they are basically the 2000 Ravens. The 2000 Ravens allowed 20 points only 3 times all season. And it might be a situation where the Jets cannot allow the defense to give up more than like 17 points or 20 points. Because I think they could score in the mid-teens each game. I think they could do that as long as Zach is protecting the football. I think they can do that. But he's going to have some moments where he throws a big-time pass and forces the defense to respect his arm. Until that happens, this offense is not going to function. And that is my biggest concern. Because, hey, the Jets had 4 turnovers yesterday. They had a special teams touchdown yesterday. Fantastic, overjoyed, thrilled they won that game, and gave every Jets fan who went into that stadium a thrill that they will never forget. But that is not a sustainable way to win football games for an entire season. We still got 16 more of these things left to go. So Nathaniel Hackett, Robert Sal, the pressure is on these guys to come up with an offensive game plan that Zach Wilson can utilize and that will force other defenses to respect not only the running game, but the passing game as well. The sad part is the goal feels like it's going to be mediocrity. Sneaking into the playoffs is going to be an ultimate goal. That's what we're now going to call a successful season. A year ago, yes, that would have been great. Not when you had the expectations that the Jets had coming into the season, though. Just having to lower the expectations coming off a win off week 1 against the 3-time defending division champions, it is really a sledgehammer to the nutsack. It really, really is. And now I'm going to jump into the 3 plays you may not recall that affected the outcome of the game. The first play was with 5 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the first quarter. Now, this is the Bills' first drive after Aaron Rodgers gets hurt. The crowd is down, the players have to be down, and the Bills have to be smelling blood like a shark. Like they've got the blood's in the water, and the shark gets that first sense that it is in their presence. The Bills are driving down the field on the Jets defense like it's an HOV lane. They've got 3 first downs already, and now they've got a 1st and 10 at the Jets' 30-yard line. Now remember, in the game preview, I talked to you about Spencer Brown, the Bills' right tackle, and that he stinks, and he came into play huge. JohnFranklinmyers lining up against him, shoves Spencer Brown right back into Josh Allen for a sack, loss of 9. It's now a 2nd and 19 for Buffalo. Now, the Bills did still get some yards back, but they had to settle for a field goal. If they score a touchdown on that drive, who knows if the Jets come back in that game. So that's play number 1. Now we go to play number 2. With 40 seconds left in the second quarter, the Bills have the ball. They're up 10-3. Zach has just thrown his interception to Matt Milano, and how much can you not stand Matt Milano? Oh my God. The Bills start at midfield. Great field position. Josh Allen converts a 3rd and 1 running from the Jets 22, gets 2 yards. So now they're on the 20-yard line with 40 seconds to go. They have the momentum, and a touchdown is not out of the question, and they have all 3 timeouts. Well, Buffalo immediately calls timeout. And on the next play, on 1st and 10, the Jets blitz. Not something the Jets do very frequently, but they do blitz this time. QuintonJefferson beats the left guard, sacks Josh Allen for a 3-yard loss. And then comes an incomplete pass and then a 7-yard scramble. And again, Buffalo has to settle for a field goal, and it's 13-3 going into halftime. Jets are still, within distance, still within fighting range. And then for play number 3, we're going to go to the Jets' touchdown drive. With 8 minutes and 19 seconds to go in the fourth quarter, the Jets have the ball. They're down 13-6, and they need a touchdown here. A field goal just isn't cutting it anymore. 2 field goals is just not going to do it. So on 3rd and 5 from their own 48, they go 5 wide. 5 receivers, empty backfield. So the Bills only rushed 4. There was no blitz on this. And it looked like Zach kind of tripped over the guard. I think it was over AVT, and it looks like he's about to start to fall down. He manages to get off a shovel pass to Alan Lazard, who's wide open, and he eludes Jordan Poyer, the safety of the Bills, and racks up 24 yards and a huge first down. And 5 plays later, Garrett Wilson makes one of the prettiest touchdown catches you will ever see for the Jets' lone offensive touchdown of the night. And those are my 3 plays you may not recall that affected the outcome of the game. So those are my 3 plays. Was there another like under the radar moment that you remember? Put it down there in the comments. And also tell me, how do you really feel with with a little bit of time to process it? Realistically, how do you feel about the Jets' chances going forward? What is their ceiling? Do you want to see them get an outside quarterback? Do you want to see them roll with Zach Wilson? I really want to know your thoughts, and tell them to me in the comments. And please join me Wednesday night because we got a lot to talk about on that evening. It's going to be a fantastic barn burner of a show because we got some stuff to talk about. Well, thank you everybody for watching. I appreciate all your support with all my heart. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you right back here with more content from you know where. The Wicker Chair.